Welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Report. I'm Jarret Johnson, and boy, I got some good news. This could have been a recruiting scoop, Gridiron Report, whatever you want to call it. Bottom line, it's good news for the Red Raiders as they welcome several new additions, not just committed, not just signed, but enrolled. Several guys, if you count the walk-ons, then it was around double digits, but 8 scholarship guys, 4 high school early enrollees, and then 4 transfers, 3 being from the transfer portal, 1 being a junior college transfer. So I'm going to briefly, I've talked about these guys so much, but this is the final step of recruiting, because honestly, until you get them on campus, it's all just kind of wishful thinking and thinking in the future, like, I wonder what he'll look like, in a Red Raider uniform. How will he fit in? They're on campus now, and they are rolling in school and they're going to classes in school starting today. So they're moved in at Tech, and we're in Lubbock. They're going to classes starting today, and they will be, if there's a spring football practice season, if there's a round of spring ball coming up, then they'll get to participate in it. So, I'm hoping that there'll be a round of spring ball, but this era, this COVID-19 era, it's hard to say with anything for certain about anything. So we'll have to see. But at least they're already on campus. They'll be working out in the strength program, getting just kind of the hang of what's expected of them from Matt Wells and his coaching staff. So let's start off with Baron Morton, of course, the 4-star quarterback who signed out of Eastland. As Coach Wells said, he was born in Covenant, just down the road, born a Red Raider. I really like this guy. I got to see him play in person just once, but he made quite an impression on me. He's one of the highest rated guys to ever sign with Texas Tech, at least in the modern era, since 24/7's been around and keeping track of all that. So by any metric, really, he's one of the higher rated guys to ever sign with Texas Tech. They had some really nice players in the 70s and 80s and all that, but what I like about him most is his ability to throw on the run. And then you start throwing in all these intangibles. Coach's son seems to be like just a great character dude. He played about as big of a role in helping recruit a class as I've seen any recruit at Texas Tech in my 8 recruiting classes covered here. So I really like him. I think he's a better runner than he's given credit for. He's about 6'3", about 200 pounds. But when you see him, he's big enough. He doesn't look small. He does not. You'd like him perhaps to have a little more weight to him, but you don't look at Barron and say, "Oh, this guy's scrawny" at all. He looks the part of a Division I athlete, and no doubt, he'll get in this Dave Scholl's strength program, and he'll add on some weight to help protect himself. But very strong arm, very accurate, very smart in terms of X's and O's. Great character guy. Born Red Raider, and a really, really, really good passer on the run, which I think is a must in today's football. So him showing up early is going to give him an opportunity to compete for playing time immediately. And Coach Wells has already said all the skill position players are going to have an opportunity to compete for early playing time as true freshmen. So a couple other guys I want to mention, speaking of other skill position guys signing this high school class, Duran Bradley, a 6'5", 200-pound receiver from DeSoto. Known as a great red zone target, obviously at that size, but also a good route runner, really good player. He's best friends with basketball signing Jalen Tyson, who they both went to John Paul High School there in Plano for a couple years in high school. So I really like Duran Bradley. He had several opportunities throughout the recruiting process to go to another school, stuck with Texas Tech. The fact that both him and Barron are going to be there early to work together is great news. Joining them two on the offensive side of the ball as high school early enrollees are tight ends Jed Castles and Mason Tharp. And they're both athletic guys, about 6'6", 6'7", guys that came in. I think Tharp is a little bit thicker originally. He's about 225, 230. Jed Castles more around 215, 220. But they're both going to be around the 240 to 250 area, and I think they have bright futures. I think they're going to do a lot of things at Texas Tech, and really the way we've been talking, even though with Coach Yost leaving, the way we've been talking about utilizing tight ends, I think perhaps that idea will come to fruition with these two guys. They're who you're looking for. So that's good. Those are the high school guys that enrolled early and starting classes today and are going to be available for spring ball if there is. Now there's also, like I said, 3 guys you got through the transfer portal, and I'm really excited, about all of them. I'm going to start off with Marcus Waters. Man, just what a really good football player Texas Tech's getting at safety out of Duke. He's a three-year starter. I think he started some his freshman year too, but one of those guys who is extremely versatile. It's very hard to find. The fact that he's good in coverage, deflections, interceptions, all that, but he'll also come up and hit you and help and be able to support in the running game. So that's huge. I really like him. And then another guy I like in the secondary you added I want to say the Waters only has 1 year. That's the only downside. You wish you could have him another year, but you do get him for a year. Pairing him with Eric Monroe, you have 2 grown-ups, 2 guys that are like in their early mid-20s playing there at safety. That's a huge addition at safety there. Malik Dunlap is a cornerback. Another guy I want to mention you got through the transfer portal. Now he has 3 years of eligibility remaining, but he started 10 games, played in over 20. He has double-digit amount of deflections on his resume. Number 6'4", 220-pound cornerback, and he is a cornerback. So I think you can play him in the slot. I mean, I think you could play him at safety, but I really do think they see him as a cornerback. So, really talent upgrade. Now, I say talent upgrade. It does make up for the loss of Zach McPherson, who was a pretty dang good player, all Big 12 performer. But 6'4", 220, I don't know. That's pretty exciting. And with experience, with 3 years of eligibility, I love it. Another guy who kind of the same boat as Josiah Pierre is a linebacker from Florida. All right, the Florida Gators, a Texas Tech guy. He has 4 years of eligibility remaining. He redshirted but played a couple games as you're allowed to now, and then played this past year a lot of snaps. Now he wasn't in the 2 deep at linebacker because Florida top 10 team is stacked. They have several future NFL players at linebacker there for the Gators, but he did play some. Mostly on special teams, but also a linebacker. And he's a good football player. 6'2", 240, but could run. He could play Raider for you, could play inside. I think he's gonna play a lot immediately. Now, I don't know if he'll start because you have a lot of linebackers coming back, a lot of experience there, but he's a really good player. The 8th and final scholarship player who moved in this last weekend and is, started school this semester is Matt Keeler, a junior college offensive lineman who transferred in from Coffeyville Community College. Now, that's an interesting deal with him, too, because he still has 5 years to play 4 seasons, so his full eligibility. He went a year to prep school, then went to Coffeyville, and then Coffeyville's season was canceled. So he still has all of his eligibility left, but he's over 2 years out of high school. So he's not a kid. He's been developed. He's put on a lot of weight, and they see him as a tackle. I think he might very well be your starting right tackle this next season. So we'll have to see how he does. If there's a spring ball, I'll be interested to see how he performs against some of Texas Tech's defensive linemen who are pretty dang good at this point. Guys like Tyree Wilson, I want to see how he does, against him. So it'll be interesting to see. I hope we get to see that. I hope I get to report on that for y'all at Texas Tech spring ball. But some pretty exciting guys, the scholarship players. Now, there's one preferred walk-on I want to mention. He actually tweeted out a picture of all 9 of them on the field staying home. And then, of course, they're having to wear their COVID masks and all that. But I can still tell who they were, the 9 guys. And his name is Bobby Young. And he had a year of prep ball as well. And he's out of LD Bell, 6'5", about 230 pounds, pass rushing specialist, really good athlete, really good get for a preferred walk-on. I normally don't report on preferred walk-ons very much because, honestly, Coach Wells doesn't like us to, and which is fine by me because you don't want to put pressure on them. The preferred walk-ons could be here one day, gone the next. It's just kind of a weird deal. So I totally understand that philosophy, but I think Bobby Young's a special case here. And I'll be interested to see how he performs this offseason, and then if he gets playing time moving forward in the next couple of years, because they have some really good players returning on the defensive line, like Tyree Wilson, like I mentioned, but they can use some depth, and I don't know if Bobby Young will be able to provide that depth in his first season, but having covered Texas high school football in that area, and especially the LD Bell, that area, Euless Trinity is their biggest rival, and just that area, the teams they play, he's played the best competition you could ask for at the high school level, and had a year, like I said, a year out where he's developed, and Texas Tech's been fully aware of him and tracking him for a long time. So to bring him in, and I'll be interested to see what he can do. So this is a very gratifying step in the recruiting. It's the final step in recruiting. It's a very gratifying one for me because I've talked to a lot of these guys for over a year, sometimes messaging them on a weekly basis in interesting times, and they've had such an interesting journey to get to Texas Tech because of COVID, and I think it's a really good group of guys, and to get them on campus is, like I said, a gratifying step in the recruiting process. So I wanted to share that with y'all who have truly joined the Red Raiders, and you should be expecting to play this upcoming fall in that scarlet and black for you. So with that, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.